so happy to that other house.
Call the meeting to order. Special meeting, Board of Directors, Tuesday, October 29th. Pledge of Allegiance. Kathleen, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I would be honored.
Thank you.
Ready to begin?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Determination of quorum.
President Johnson, Director Hund is absent. Other than that, you have a quorum.
We'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Look good to me, I move we approve the agenda.
Second.
All right. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved, so done. Public comment. Members of the public may address the board at this time with regard to matters within the board's jurisdiction that are not listed on the agenda. State law prohibits the board of directors from discussing or taking action on items not included on the agenda. Members of the public will have the opportunity for public comment on any item listed on the agenda when it is addressed on the agenda. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes or less. Are there any public comments? We welcome the public. Thank you. At this time, I will move that we go to closed session. And do I need a motion, or I just
We can adjourn, please.
so adjourn? Return to open session, and it is 6:30. And I'll take a report from Nate, if you will, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. There's no reportable action from the closed session.
Okay. Move on to item number 7, ratification of union memorandum of understanding. And who is that, General Manager? Sarah.
Good evening, Board. Tonight we're here to talk about the MOU, and I'm going to hand it over to our legal counsel, Nate Kowalski.
Thank you. In brief, the district engaged in labor negotiations with the bargaining unit representing a number of the classifications here at the district, and over the course of 5 negotiating sessions reached a tentative agreement. The district has been advised that the bargaining unit has ratified the tentative agreement, and so now the agreement is being recommended to the board for ratification. The agreement is a comprehensive MOU covering a 22-month period with a variety of enhancements to benefits and wages here for the bargaining unit members at the district. And so on behalf of the bargaining team, myself, Mark, and Sarah, we are asking the board to adopt the resolution which would put that MOU into place for that 22-month period.
Okay. Sarah? Do you need to read the MOU, or what's your preference here from the board?
To read the resolution? you
Yes,
mean?
or what do you need for us to approve?
We can take any comment and then just take a roll call vote on the MOU, or not MOU, I'm sorry, the resolution.
All right. We'll start with general public, if they have any comments. Seeing none. Sir, move to the podium. Identify yourself, please. Name, address, serial number on your driver's license.
Frank Coat, Joshua Tree, just a resident and water user. I read through, skimmed through part of this, and I believe there's only one thing. I think later in your agenda, you're going to go over hours of work, 10-hour days. I believe in your actual MOA right here, MOU right here, it actually states you're working the 9-hour days with the every other 8-hour day off. So it might be something you want to correct when while you're doing this.
Director's comments. We'll start with Director Reynolds.
Okay. It was my understanding that part of the MOU was moving to the 410s. Is that correct?
It's correct.
Okay.
And
Okay.
on page 18 of the packet, it shows the hours of work as the conventional schedule of 5/8 or the 410 schedule of the alternative work week, and the 980 has been removed.
Okay, good. Okay, so the only other comment I have, golly, it's only this many pages of nuts and bolts. And I'm very glad we have you on the team to deal with that and to make it happen and to organize it and to make it so it is a valuable asset for the employees. As far as I'm concerned, well, the nuts and bolts are, we rely on you for that and for us to approve it. But most important on this chair, as far as I'm concerned, is the dollar figure. And that dollar figure for the MOU is 120 total, with all the bells and whistles and the total possible it could be, and it might be less, but it's not going to be more, is $129,477.83 for the MOU. And that's what matters to me on this seat, is that money. Where do we get the money? And so I want to clarify how, how that money is budgeted and accomplished, so we could provide that for this. And it was discussed in closed session. Is that something that can be answered to the public as well?
Yep, for the first year for the MOU, we are in excess in our salary budget due to 2 vacancies. So the first year for the MOU is covered, and the second year we will have to budget for it, but we are in a good position right now. We've also, in the budget, costed for a 2.5% increase, so we have a little bit of wiggle room there as well. So for the first year, we're in good shape. Second year, we'll budget for it in the process of budgeting.
Okay, thank you. And the reason I wanted to bring it up in the public's eye is, that's a big number. Is for our ratepayers, they're going, holy mackerel. We just gave out another 129,000 and some change. Are you going to raise my rates again? Where are they getting that money to pay this? And that's what I wanted to bring out into the open. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Director Miller.
Thank you, Director Reynolds. That was really good, very succinct. Thank you, Sarah. And thank everyone who worked on this. Really a good job. Thank you.
Director Fallon.
Well, this is information Dan saw with this material here, as Director Reynolds says. But based on what I'm understanding, hearing and understanding, is that the negotiations were very cooperative in both directions, and it generally went along in a constructive way. And I certainly appreciated that. And then, depending on what people hear about this, I think they should understand that there is inflation out there. And in my view, we shouldn't necessarily create a situation where our employees have to completely suffer with that on their backs. And this is an environment where there's a need to, because we do deliver water, you have to have it or you'll die. And so, can you hear me? Is my mic on, Bob? Everybody else has their mic on? So I wanted to point out that we need to be able to attract competent plus people, and we need to retain them in an environment that is competitive. And we have to have some sort of parity in these areas so we can reliably and competently do the job that by law we're required to do. And that's expressed in these documents, these 200 pages, whatever it is, of material that we have here. Thank you, sir.
I'd just like to express my appreciation to the staff, to the union, to council for expediting this process. This could have taken us a long time to come to a fair and equitable agreement, and I think we've done that responsibly and very equitably. So with that, I will entertain a motion to recommend that the board adopt the attached resolution authorizing the general manager to execute a memorandum of understanding with the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Be a roll call vote?
Yeah, we should do roll calls on this,
Okay.
yeah.
General Manager?
Sure. Director Reynolds?
Aye.
Director Flowen?
Aye.
Vice President Unger?
Aye.
President Johnson?
Here. Aye.
Director Hunt is absent.
All right. Roll call. Item 8, employer-employee organization relations resolution. And that's me.
Yes, again, thank you, Mr. President. Just a few brief comments on that. The item 8, the employer-employee organization relations resolution, the attached resolution is designed to address a variety of representational issues that sometimes arise in the workplace where you have a union, such as you have here, or you have the interest in bargaining units at the district. And so this particular resolution deals with questions such as how do you form a union, how do you certify a union, what positions are in the bargaining unit, what positions are outside the bargaining unit, conceivably how would you decertify a union. So this resolution is something that comes from the statute, the Myers-Milius-Brown Act, and allows the district to address those sorts of representational issues. And the resolution in front of you makes some technical changes that are in accord with changes to state law. So the MMBA has changed, there are regulations to that, and so we have proposed a revised and updated resolution. The substance is not meaningfully different, but there are a few minor changes in terms of procedure.
And what do you need from us?
Again, I think we would do a roll call vote here to approve the resolution 191015.
All right. And I'll ask if there's any public comment first. Seeing none, then the general manager.
Director
I
Flowen?
guess we'll need
Oh.
to make a motion and
Yeah,
a
motion
second.
second, I'm sorry.
And any comments?
Oh, okay.
I will move that the board of directors adopt resolution 19-1015, approving the newly revised employer-employee organization relations resolution.
I'll second that with a comment. This is mostly, in my eyes, a matter of housekeeping, and so it's a no-brainer. So with that, I second the motion.
Any further comments? Yeah, my apologies, general manager.
Director Flowen?
Aye.
Vice President Unger?
Aye.
President Johnson?
Aye.
Director Reynolds?
Aye.
And Director Hunt is absent.
Item number 9, compensation plan for the management, supervisory, and confidential employees of the district. Sir?
Thank you, President Johnson. This is the compensation plan for the unrepresented employees of the district. It mirrors very similarly to the MOU. It's been the district's practice to have the compensation for the MSC be taken at the same time as a new MOU, and I'll pass it on to Nate to elaborate.
Yes, so the compensation and benefits plan for the managers, supervisors, and confidential employees does mirror that of the MOU for the bargaining unit. There are a few minor differences between the MSC unit and the bargaining unit in terms of, for example, standby time is a provision that is accorded to the bargaining unit and not accorded to managers and confidential employees. There are other minor differences in terms of reimbursement for work boots, tuition reimbursement, and the vacation that is accorded to the respective groups. But the 98% of the benefits and wages are identical most notably in terms of the salary increases. So that is in essence what the district is proposing here, that the board adopt a resolution which would afford to the MSC unit, the managers, supervisors, confidential employees, essentially the same wages and benefit enhancements that have been afforded to the AFSCME bargaining unit.
There's one correction within the document itself, and it's on page 86 of the packet, and that's the vacation accrual. The third one should be years 11 plus, not years 10 plus.
All right, with that correction made, comments from the public? Seeing none, I'll take director's comments. Hearing none, then I'll, sir?
Just a question for Nate. Could you just briefly speak to what standby is for the YouTube?
Sure. The district, with respect to many of its blue-collar employees, needs to have a group of employees on standby. So, for example, if there were leakage in a pipe, you might have a group of, let's say, 3 employees that are assigned to work standby time for the weekend. In other words, they have to be available in the event of a work project or other emergency. And they're paid for that standby time, not only to stand by, to be available, but also in the event that they're actually called out to perform maintenance or repair. Now, you contrast those hourly employees who are receiving standby time and overtime with your managers, for example, who are on salary, who don't receive overtime. So if your general manager gets a call from a board member, which might happen on a weekend or in the evening, he's not going to be compensated for that time. He doesn't have to be on standby time because he's paid a salary to be available at all times. And so that's the basic explanation of what is standby and why it applies to a bargaining unit of hourly employees, but not to this MSC group of managers and supervisors.
And so because they're on this standby time and a rapid response, this might be more for the general manager, and a rapid response is extremely beneficial. They are necessarily allowed to take a vehicle home with them.
Yeah, those folks that are actually on standby, you take a vehicle home, so they're actually committed to staying in town, within 30 minutes of any site here at the district, basically, so that they can have that response appropriately. So.
All right. Director Reynolds?
Thank you. Again, I want to mirror on my comment for the first, the MOU, and that was the dollar figure for the MSC. MOU, MSC, lots of acronyms, and that was that total number was $86,081.68. Is my number correct?
Yes.
Okay, good, making sure.
Over 22 months.
Over a nearly 2-year process, and again, just like the MSC, it is a top at all costs. It could easily be less, but it won't be more. And so it's the same comment as I had before. I just want to clarify that it goes hand in hand with both units. And throwing in a little humor, and you're not going to ask for a new pair of shoes in response to wearing out boots. You don't get the shoes.
Let's see.
Fair is fair.
I don't see any boots down there. For the record, no boots.
No boots for the, okay, well, there you go. And we've clarified, there is money available, and it will not impact our current budget. And so this makes this agenda item move real smoothly and without the noose around our neck, and that's the biggest thing. You hear that total is $215,000, 529.51 is I'm trying to find a nice word of saying a big load of money, and we need to pay for it, and we're able to, and that's what makes this thing so smooth tonight, and it's helpful in my decision process as well. So with that, I'm going to shut up and give the chair back to you, Mr. President.
All right, any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right, there's a motion on the floor to recommend that the Board of Directors adopt the attached resolution approving revised compensation plan of the management, supervisory, and confidential employees. Is there a second?
I motion.
I
so
got a
can't
second. Although, we're going to do a roll call.
Sure. Vice President Unger,
Aye.
Director Flowen,
Aye.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
President Johnson.
Aye. All
And
right.
Director Hunt is absent.
Item 10, new employee handbook.
Okay.
So, Rob.
We are presenting you the new employee handbook. It's an update of the model that we currently have, which is from 1990. So this one will supersede that manual and cover all of the employment laws that have changed since then. It's also been reviewed by the union and approved by the union, so this will encompass the entire district for policies and procedures. An employee handbook is an important document, helps standardize processes, ensure that employees are treated fairly in all different aspects of their careers here at the district. It brings uniformity and saves time on managers and administrative teams so that they know what to do when a problem arises. Helps new employees set some expectations so they know what is expected of them of their jobs. And it helps the district comply with federal, state, and any applicable laws. And we'll have to bring this document to you on a regular basis every time a law updates, so there'll be more housekeeping and we won't let so much time pass in the future. This is a final draft. There's been one small edit, and there was a line that should have been removed that's still there, so that will be taken care of, and that's on page 208 of the packet, center of the page, and there's a line that says if any of the above conditions arise, that line's to be removed. Other than that, looks like it's a pretty final copy. This also helps meet some of our strategic plan goals. So we've now have an orientation and onboarding program and policy. We've updated the employee handbook. We have an open door policy, a violence policy, a security policy, amongst many, many other policies, IT policies, and a way for an employee to really find out what they need to do to make the right decisions for the district. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
All right, I'll take general comments from the public, if there are any. If not, we'll do the director's comments. Director Unger?
Page 208, what was the one that was?
Oh, page 208, center of the page, right above the letter C. It says, if any of the above conditions arise, the procedures below shall apply. And you'll see there's no procedures there. That line should have also been removed.
Any other further director's comments?
I just have one.
Yes, sir.
The employee handbook was quite an undertaking and an impressive document. And that's something that has even helped me in my own personal world, seeing some of these. There's so many laws you have to follow if you're going to be an employer, and it's so easy to miss one. And because of this handbook, it has been helpful even in a personal aspect, and I want to thank you for that. But moving forward to the water district, it's a good piece of work and a lot of work you put into that. Thank you very much.
It was a team effort.
Director Flowen?
Well, I just appreciate these kinds of things because In the first place, it's a clarifier. It does say what expectations are about how a person is supposed to behave within this culture, and I appreciate that type of thing. There is, there's sort of a proof that you have to, a receipt too, so that the employee is sort of verifies that he does have a set of rules on how this is supposed to work. And it'll just help with the relationships between everybody within the organization too, wherever it is. And now I think you don't hear about it too much, but it's now falling on, the burden is falling on our supervisors, whether it's inside or outside, to make sure that there's compliance with these types of things too, so that we have a happy and productive work environment here. Because that can affect attrition, turnover, and stuff if these kinds of rules aren't followed. And that would impact the district, which is the ratepayers. Thank you, Mr. President.
I'd just like to say thank you for all of the hard work and diligence in putting this together, and I'm even more impressed to know that the legal counsel signed off on it and said it was one of the most exciting reads he's had in one of the short period of time being aboard, so. Riveting, yeah.
More so than the budget?
Oh, no, nothing compares to the Finance Committee. All right, with that, we'll recommend that the Board of Directors adopt the attached resolution approving a newly revised Joshua Basin Water District Employee Handbook. And General Manager, I guess,
Yeah.
I need a motion first.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. General Manager.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
Vice President Unger,
Aye.
Director Flone,
Aye.
President Johnson.
C. Yes. All right, item number 11, moving right along, wellness program.
All right, back to me, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, there we go.
Wellness program. So the wellness program is something that the district staff has been thinking about for quite some time, even before Mark Van has become our general manager. And it's something to help improve wellness within the district of employees. This was something that was brought up during some of the discussions with management when they were talking about what compensation plan that they were looking for. And because it's a brand new program, we wanted to make sure we could roll it out to not just the managers, but to the entire district so that everyone has a chance to participate. Wellness programs are pretty commonplace in most larger employers, mid-sized employers, and even in small employers. And you can have very small programs to very robust programs. This one here is a smaller program. Aqua JPIA is a huge proponent of these types of programs, and they actually even offer grants when districts start these programs. So that's something that we would look at as well in the future. This particular program is designed to help motivate staff so that they can maintain a healthier lifestyle, which in turn helps reduce some of the costs that an employer has. For instance, increased healthcare costs, increased sick leave usage, so that you have absenteeism, productivity, reduces injuries. It's important to note that these types of programs can help reduce your workers' comp costs because people are healthier and able to move around a lot more. So those ergonomic workers' comp injuries that tend to be pretty commonplace tend to have a reduction when you implement this type of program. So the program here that we're looking at is outlined starting on page 227, and the objective is to help encourage employees to achieve and maintain a healthy lifestyle through wellness and physical fitness. This program would have a budget set to it. Mark has actually worked with the local gym in town to secure a low rate for like a corporate gym membership that the district would sponsor for employees that are interested. And those employees that are not interested in going to the gym would also have the opportunity to participate in a reimbursement at the same level set as that gym membership. And the gym membership is set at $23 per person. To attend all the classes and go, before and after work and on the weekends anytime that they like to go. And for those that don't want to attend the gym, they could submit on a form showing what their reimbursement would be for. So for instance, they're taking yoga classes, or they bought some gym equipment or there's some other items on here, the fitness trackers. So their cost might exceed what the plan is, but everybody would have a little bit of ability to participate. And at the end of all this, we want to do some tracking to see if we have a reduction in sick leave use, or how many pounds the district has lost in total, or do we have a reduction in workers' comp utilization, and see if this is something that would continue. If it's something that we find that is not successful, doesn't continue, having it separate from the MOU and having it separate from the MSC compensation plan allows us the flexibility to phase out the program if it's not successful. I think that's most of my notes. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. We do have a budget set for this as well, so $23 per person. One other note is we did take a poll within the district to see how many folks are interested in the gym membership, and we have 16 people who are interested in joining the gym. So of the difference of those folks that don't want to join the gym, they'd have the opportunity to participate as well. And the budget that we looked at for that $23 level is $7,728 annually.
Okay.
Very good.
Take comments from the public?
And that's included in the cost already.
Seeing none, I'll take director's comments. Okay, you can't be silent.
Of course not. So you said that the program could be phased out if it's not successful, that type of thing, but you also have the option of modifying it in some ways other than, I suppose, the budget part, as far as the features of it.
Absolutely. That's, having it as its own separate policy gives us that flexibility to say that, it's working, or we're seeing employees, they're asking for something different than what's here. Whatever we can get that utilization. We want the utilization there. We want to see that there's, a cost-benefit analysis to the district done to see if we're losing weight and we're not, injuring ourselves as easily, then we can demonstrate that the program is successful. But if we find that it's not, then we'll need to, look at a different avenue. And then if you are looking at maybe approving this program, then next year when the JPIA has their grants available, I plan on submitting it to the JPIA because it's a brand new program, to see if we can earn a grant based on the new program.
I also think it's appealing to, because, there's 16 people, well, that doesn't necessarily mean they're on the inside or on the outside, in other words, in the office or in the field. And it's a neutral environment for various employees to interact with each other in a neutral field, so to speak, rather than where everybody's wearing their uniforms and their work face, so to speak. You tend to have a different kind of a relationship with somebody that's spotting you on the bench than you do in an office type of thing. So I appreciate the whole idea of it, frankly.
Team building.
Team building, absolutely.
That's great.
Director Reynolds?
Thank you. I fully support this. I remember, 35 years ago, I worked at a very large aerospace company, and they had a health, wellness, and safety program. And with that came bonuses. It came with, if you chose to park in the far back parking lot, they gave you extra time on the clock, but to encourage you to make that trek walking. And it was very successful. I watched it flourish, and it ended up, they eventually put in a gym inside of the, in one of the little areas. They put in an employee gym in there, and people would go and exercise at lunchtime. And then they even had a program for losing weight, but you had to document and prove it. But gosh, some of the people that participated in this, not only did they get healthier, they got paid to get healthier. And when you are healthier, you come to work more and you're more productive. You get stuff done and you're there every day. And it's just, and this was 35 years ago. And I'd forgotten all about that until you just brought this up. And so it's exciting. And so if I'm completely on board with it. I wish they offered a wellness for the board of directors as well. And, you know, so,
We'll
yeah,
check your pounds,
you have
too.
my full support on this.
It's not too late to amend this. Any other comments? Hearing none, then I'll ask for a motion.
Well, I do like the idea of the amendment now that you mention it.
Let's come back and see if this thing is successful to begin with, and we'll include ourselves.
I move that the Board of Directors adopt a wellness program for the employees of the district.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? Aye?
Roll call.
Roll call? No, we need a roll
No,
call?
this was not rescinded.
No.
That's
Okay,
good.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, item number 12, office hours. Is that Mark?
Nope, Sarah's gonna
Okay.
finish it
I
off.
get the floor tonight.
Sarah,
Can't take any away from her.
So this resolution is to adopt new office hours to go with the new 410 work week. Because of the 410 work week, where employees will be here longer during the day, allowing for more opportunity for customers, ratepayers, to come into the office building. So the current schedule is Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 4:30, and the amended schedule would be Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 5 p.m. So extra half an hour on the end of the day for people to come in and have any services that they need taken care of. And it also checks another box on the strategic plan that we're continuously updating our administrative policies and procedures. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, I'll take comments from the public. Seeing none, then I'll start with the directors. Director Reynolds?
There's an extra half hour in a day, but I do like the time being moved to 5 o'clock. 7:30, I don't know how much advantage people are going to take coming into the office at 7:30 in the morning, but it does give girls and the office personnel a chance to get prepared for the day. But definitely I like 5 o'clock better than 4:30.
Director Unger?
No comment, I like it.
Oh, I like it if the employees like it, it gets back into the retention and recruiting thing again. It enhances our ability to get good people in here because we need them.
All right. And with that, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right, I have a second.
Second?
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
This one will be a roll call.
Oh, it is a resolution.
Oh,
Or is it?
Yes.
Did we get a second on that one?
14.
Yes, Tom.
Perfect. Vice President Unger,
Aye.
Director Reynolds,
Aye.
President Johnson,
Aye.
and Director Flowen,
Aye.
and Director Hunt is absent.
And with that, I have a motion to adjourn.
But I don't want to go home. I'll make that motion.
There's no room on here for like meetings and all that. Should I just like brief report on the TAC meeting, should I get that out of the way now and then do the Mojave meeting and our next regular board
Oh,
meeting?
let's all
Not on
do
the
them all
agenda.
together.
You have a meeting too?
I have meetings, but it's not on the agenda, so I'll hold.
Yeah, it's
I
on.
have a meeting too.
All right,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to load up that next
So I'll
one.
just make them have more meetings. And how's that?
I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.